CC Cycle 1, Week 21, starting with our geography. We're doing the waters of Canada. So we're coming right back up here to Canada. We have the Great Bear Lake, Great Slave Lake, Hudson Bay, Labrador Sea, and Baffin Bay. So Great Bear Lake, Great Slave Lake, Hudson Bay, Labrador Sea, and Baffin Bay. And we're going to do a little tiny story to this. Once there was a Great Bear Lake. He wanted to be a Great Slave Lake, for his friend Hudson Bay. Hudson said, no thanks, but do you want to come with me and meet my Labrador Sea? So they went laughing and baffin in Baffin Bay. Awesome. All right, next we have what are the 5 circles of latitude? 5 circles of latitude are the Arctic Circle, the Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, and the Antarctic Circle. What are 5 circles of latitude? First circles of latitude are the Arctic Circle, the Tropic of Cancer, the Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, and the Antarctic Circle. So the way we remember this one is the Arctic Circle. It's Arctic up here, so we're going to put our little crown on our heads. Arctic Circle. And then we come down because Cancer's not that great. So Tropic of Cancer, there we go. The equator is equal in the middle. So you're going to come to the middle, equator. And then I know you can't see it, but Tropic of Capricorn, we're going to think about our kneecaps, okay? So you're going to tap your knees for kneecaps. And then we have the ants, which are teeny tiny down by our feet. Ants for the Antarctic Circle. So we have, what are the 5 circles of latitude? The 5 circles of latitude are the Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, and the Antarctic Circle. All right, over to our history. Tell me about the exploration of Canada. John Cabot and Samuel de Champlain explored Canada and the St. Lawrence River. Creation of the Hudson Bay Company in 1670 eventually led to the war between Britain and France, and the maple leaf is the symbol of Canada. So for John Cabot, you're going to take your little pinky finger to make a J in the air, John Cabot. And Samuel de Champlain, we're going to make an S for Samuel. So John Cabot and Samuel de Champlain explored Canada, so let's look all over the place. Explored Canada, and the St. Lawrence River, we're going to make a river. St. Lawrence River. The creation of the Hudson Bay Company, we're using the same timeline as we do with our timeline ocean. So picking up the boxes and we're handing them up to people on the docks. Hudson Bay Company. In 1670, eventually led to war. So we're going to go like this, flat hands, they're fighting each other, war between Britain, flat hand, grab it and pull it back, Britain, and then France is these 2 fingers and you flick them, France. The maple leaf has 5 points, so hold up your 5 fingers. The maple leaf is the symbol of Canada, so we're going to do sign language for Canada. Flat fist right here against the same shoulder, same size shoulder, Canada. So John Cabot and Samuel de Champlain explored Canada and the St. Lawrence River. The creation of the Hudson Bay Company in 1670 eventually led to war between Britain and France. The maple leaf is the symbol of Canada. John Cabot and Samuel de Champlain explored Canada and the St. Lawrence River. Creation of the Hudson Bay Company in 1670 eventually led to war between Britain and France. Maple leaf is the symbol of Canada. All right, now we have the associative law. The associative law for addition states parentheses A plus B parentheses plus C equals parentheses A, sorry, no parentheses there, A plus parentheses B plus C parentheses. There we go. So the associative law for addition states parentheses A plus B parentheses plus C equals A plus parentheses B plus C. Multiplication is the same thing, we just say multiplication. So parentheses A times B parentheses times C equals A times parentheses B times C parentheses. So a little kind of chant, and when we clap like this, that's symbolizing putting the parentheses on, all right? So the associative law for addition. A plus B plus C equals A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C equals A plus B plus C. Associative law for multiplication says A times B times C equals A times B times C. A times B times C equals A times B times C. All right, back to our fourth declension noun endings. If you remember the fourth, it's two sets of two, and if our second declension was us, we have two sets of us, so we're gonna go us, us. All right, us, ui, ooh, us, ui, ooh, us, ui, ooh. Singular fourth declension, us, ibis, is, ibis, us, ibis, ibis, us, ibis, ibis. Plural fourth declension. All right, and we started learning about linking verbs last week. A linking verb makes an assertion by joining two words together, and we're gonna start learning our linking verbs. So this week it's am, are, is, was, were, be, being, and been. And we're singing this to VeggieTales' end of the show song. Linking verb makes an assertion by joining two words. A linking verb. Am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been. Am, are, is, was, were, be, being, been. All right. Finally, our timeline. We have World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn Massacre, the United Nations formed, the Cold War, Gandhi and India's independence, Jewish state established, Mao and communist victory in China. So World War II, we're going to do very similar to what we did with World War I. Hold up 3 fingers for a W. So World War II. And for President Franklin D. Roosevelt, you're going to take your 2 and you're going to cross them for the sign language R. Okay, so World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Then we have the Stalin of the USSR. We're going to make an S, so just make your hand into a fist. Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn Massacre. For the United Nations formed, you're going to take your hands and we're going to link them together. United Nations formed. For Cold War, let's warm our arms up. Cold War. Gandhi, we're going to put your hands like this and make a little head bow. Gandhi and India's independence. For Jewish state established, we're going to take our hands, we're going to put them down and establish it. Jewish state established. And then for Mao and communist victory in China, we're going to do a C for that. Mao and communist victory in China. All right, so World War II and President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Stalin of the USSR and the Katyn Massacre, the United Nations formed, the Cold War, Gandhi and India's independence, Jewish state established, Mao and communist victory in China.